Amobaba Tales presents Never Again, My Boarding House Nightmare, Season 2. We thought the darkness was the worst of it. We were wrong. The darkness held things, ancient things, and when they woke, the real nightmare began. Welcome back to Ife High. Welcome back to Aziza Block. Part 1, Descent into the Green Hell. The blackness after the light died wasn't empty. It was thick, heavy with the stink of old death. The whispers, they were a storm now, a swirling vortex of hate. And then the screams, not just ours, a high, piercing shriek that felt like it was tearing our ears apart. That icy grip on my arm, it tightened, those bony fingers digging in. Panic choked me. In the black, I could still see my face in my mind's eye, those black, knowing eyes burning into me. Then the floor started to shake, a deep, rumbling growl that went right through our bones. The building was waking up. Had the ground always felt this uneven? Was that creaking sound the building settling, or something far more sinister stirring beneath us? Then, a light, sickly green, from the end of the hallway. The stained wall, the shifting carvings, they glowed. And in that awful light, I saw them clearly for the first time. The tall, thin figures. Their milky eyes, they looked hungry. So hungry. A cold dread washed over me. Were they even human? Their movements were too fluid, too unnatural. And that green glow, it felt like it was coming from them. Part 2, The Cracking and the Fall. The green light pulsed, throwing wild, monstrous shadows that danced on the peeling paint. The shaking got worse. Plaster rained down, dusting our hair like ghostly snow. The main door of Aziza Block, it was groaning, cracking, like something huge was trying to smash its way in. Or perhaps, trying to get out. Everyone was screaming, a tangled mess of bodies trying to escape the inevitable. I lost Chinedu's hand, stumbled blindly, the whispers pulling me, promising something terrible if I just got closer. It felt like invisible strings were tugging at my clothes, urging me towards the oppressive darkness. Then the thumping in the walls, it went mad. A frantic, thunderous beat that matched the terror in my chest. It wasn't just a sound, it was a vibration that rattled my teeth. The air got colder, so cold I could see my breath in that awful green light. We were going to die here. I knew it, trapped in this cursed place. Was that a shadow moving in the corner of my eye? Or just the flickering light playing tricks? Part 3, A Glimmer of Hope and Deeper Shadow. Just when I thought I couldn't take anymore, a sound from outside. Chanting. Deep, guttural, ancient. It cut through the shrieking and whispering like a knife. The green light flickered, like it was being pushed back, its sickly hue momentarily dimming. The shaking, it eased, just a little. Could it be? A way out? Hope. A tiny spark in the darkness. Someone knew. Someone was trying to help. The chanting grew louder, and the crushing weight in the air. It felt a tiny bit lighter, as if an invisible hand had released some of its pressure. Then the door splintered open, a crack of moonlight. We gasped, a collective intake of breath. Relief? But it wasn't rescue. In the opening, shadows moved too fast, their shapes just like the gaunt figures in the green light. Only, somehow more menacing in the natural light. Were they immune to the sun? Or was this something else entirely? Part 4, Malevolent Words and Breaking Bones. The shadows outside, they clawed at the door. Those long, thin fingers snaking in, their touch sending shivers down my spine even from a distance. The chanting outside, it was frantic now, a desperate fight against something unseen. Inside, the green light burned brighter, as if fueled by their struggle. And the whispers, they turned into words. Clear, cold, and full of hate. They said our names. They said they wanted us. Specifically us. How did they know? I saw one of the tall, thin things step fully into the green light. Its milky eyes locked on a small boy, frozen with terror near the doorway. It glided towards him, its hand reaching, all bone and sharp angles. The boy screamed, a sound that will stay with me forever, a raw, primal cry of pure fear. Then the thumping in the walls, it changed again. Sharp cracks, like bones breaking, echoing from within the very structure of the building. The green light pulsed violently, and a high-pitched whine filled the air, drilling into our skulls, making our eyes water. Was the building itself breaking apart? Or was it changing? Part 5. A fighting chance, and a rising horror. As the cracking echoed, the tall, thin thing faltered, its movements jerky, as if an invisible force was hindering it. The green light flickered wildly, and the hateful whispers seemed to choke, to fade, losing some of their oppressive power. The chanting outside, it reached a roar, a wave of sound washing over the block, pushing back the oppressive silence within. The crushing pressure lifted, just a fraction. The stink of death, it lessened, replaced by the faint, earthy smell of burning herbs, a scent that felt strangely protective. Hope, it surged, a fragile butterfly fluttering in my chest. Maybe we could get out of this alive. Then the floor bucked. Violently, we were thrown off our feet, scrambling for purchase on the tilting ground. A crack ripped open in the ground, right in the center of the room, glowing red. And from it, a growl, low, guttural, ancient, full of a power that made the tall, thin things seem like mere shadows themselves. What was that sound? It vibrated in my chest, a primal fear I'd never known. Part 6. The Serpent Awakens. The red light showed us something new. Something huge, rising from the earth, tearing through the very foundations of Aziza Block. Its shape was blurry in the ominous glow, but the anger, the raw, ancient fury, it hit us like a physical blow, stealing the air from our lungs. The tall, thin things, they hissed, recoiled, shrinking back into the deeper shadows, their earlier hunger replaced by palpable fear. Even the whispers seemed to tremble, losing their venomous edge. The chanting outside, it changed. More strained, more defensive, the rhythm faltering slightly. This wasn't just about the block anymore. We were caught in something old, something powerful, something that dwarfed the gaunt figures. And we were just in the way. The growl got louder, closer. The thing from the ground, it started to take shape in the crimson light. I saw red eyes, vast, ancient, burning with a malevolent hate that seemed directed at everything living. Part 7. Blood and ancient tongues. The creature, it was a snake, but bigger than anything I could imagine, its form coiling upwards into the gloom. Scales the color of dried blood shimmered in the red light. Horns like jagged rocks scraped against what was left of the ceiling. Red light pulsed from its eyes, and the air felt thick, heavy, like it was burning my skin from the inside. The tall, thin things, they started moving again, circling us with a renewed desperation, their milky eyes darting between us and the rising serpent, like they knew their fragile authority was crumbling. The whispers, they urged the snake on, sibilant and eager, promising it something dark and terrible if it claimed us. The chanting outside, it was frantic, a desperate plea. Shouts now, raw and urgent, words in a language I didn't understand, yet felt deep in my bones. The broken doorframe, it started to glow with a faint, ethereal white light, a stark contrast to the hellish red and green. Part 8. Fury and Light. The serpent roared, a sound that threatened to shatter our eardrums and the very foundations of our sanity. It lunged, its massive head striking with terrifying speed. The tall, thin things surged forward with it, their bony hands reaching, their touch promising a cold, eternal embrace. We were trapped, caught between ancient fury and relentless hunger. Then the white light around the door exploded outwards. Beams of pure energy, incandescent and fierce, shot into the room, striking the serpent. It shrieked, a sound of pure agony that tore at our ears. Its red eyes flashed with pain, and it recoiled. The tall, thin things hissed and scattered back into the shadows, momentarily repelled by the sudden burst of light. The chanting outside, it became a unified roar of triumph, the ancient words resonating with power. And figures stood silhouetted in the doorway, people carrying glowing staffs that pulsed with the same white light, chanting with a strength that pushed back the darkness. Part 9. The elders arrived. They were elders, their faces lined with the wisdom of generations, their eyes filled with a knowing that went far beyond our youthful understanding. They moved with a quiet strength, their glowing staffs held high, pushing back the oppressive darkness like a physical force. The chanting, it was a shield now, a wall of sound and light against the encroaching evil. They pointed towards the shattered door, their voices calm and steady amidst the lingering chaos. "Do not look back," one of them said, his gaze unwavering, fixed on the retreating shadows. "Leave this place. It has been defiled." We stumbled out, blinking in the relative peace of the moonlight, the rhythmic chanting a comforting presence at our backs. But I felt eyes on us, cold and unseen, a lingering presence, a promise of something unfinished, something that had merely been pushed back, not defeated. Part 10. A chilling certainty. Standing outside, watching the elders continue their ancient rites, a cold truth settled deep in my stomach. This wasn't just a ghost story, a tale whispered in the dark. It was a battle, a confrontation with something old, something powerful, something that had slumbered for centuries. And we, the students of Aziza Block, had unknowingly stumbled into its awakening. The school was closed indefinitely. Parents arrived, their faces edged with a mixture of relief and a dawning, chilling horror as they heard fragments of what had transpired. Relief at seeing us alive warred with the terrifying realization of what we had faced. As Papa and Mama took me home, away from the cursed grounds of Ife High, I knew we hadn't escaped everything. The fleeting glimpse of black eyes in the reflection of a darkened window, the phantom sensation of an icy grip on my arm, the faint, sibilant whispers that sometimes echoed in the quiet of my room, they were still there, lingering in the corners of my mind. And sometimes, late at night, when the house is still and silent, I still hear it. A faint scratching sound coming from the walls. And I know, with a chilling certainty, it's still waiting. We escaped the building, but did we truly escape the evil? What ancient power was awakened in Aziza Block? And what does it truly want with the students of Ife High? They are still watching. If your blood ran cold with the rising of the serpent, if you felt the power of the ancient chanting, then you know the fight for Ife High is far from over. Season 3 The Reckoning, coming soon. Subscribe now and ring that bell to be the first to witness the terrifying conclusion in Season 3 of Samobaba Tales, Never Again. Will the elders be able to banish the darkness forever? Or are the students of Ife High forever marked by the horrors of Aziza Block? Share your theories in the comments below. What do you think will happen in Season 3? And have you ever felt like you've brushed against something ancient and powerful? Tell us your stories. Join us for the final, terrifying chapter.